How are you doing? This is David W. Williams, also known as Diamond Dave, the founder of the highest paid part-time job in the world, Options Trading Academy. And what we're going to talk about is the unknown truth or the untold truth about trading groups, whether they be options groups, stock groups, alert groups. Pretty much they're now, I would say almost pretty much all the same thing. And we're going to kind of go into why I don't personally do them. And I'm not saying that they're a negative. It's just a direction I've chosen not to take consciously for a lot of different reasons. We're going to kind of go into that. And if you're an aspiring options trader, you're a options beginner, and you kind of want to understand how to be successful in the trading space, I'm going to try to give you some help as to why I've chosen not to take this particular course and this particular route. And hopefully you can take something from it and you can utilize it and implement it into your program, and it can put you in the best position to be successful. So that's who this particular video or audio is going to be for. And this is not I would say a really super organized commentary. I'm kind of doing this spur of the moment. It's kind of something that was on my spirit and on my heart to give you, but I'm gonna go ahead and give it to it, and hopefully I don't ramble. So this is gonna be really good Toastmasters impromptu speaking practice. Let's get into it. Okay, so I started learning how to trade from an alert group. And I was getting options alerts before it was like the thing. So this was way before 2020. I was getting options alerts. And what I did was I was paying way more than what a lot of these alert groups cost, right? So I wasn't tripping on the price. I was paying what I thought the value of that content was, because I had an end goal that had very little to do with just trying to make money in the market, right? And what I did was I took that person's alerts, and because of my understanding of the financial markets, also my understanding of business, I started reverse engineering the alerts, right? And many people have probably heard this story before, but I'm gonna tell you, what I would do was the alert came out every day in the morning. I would get up early in the morning and get the alert, and then spend the next hour and a half until the market opened trying to understand why this alert was generated, right? And it was through that process of me doing that over and over and over and over and over again, literally every Monday through Friday. I was very consistent with this. After about a year of doing that, I was able to finally start figuring out why these alerts are being generated, and I started to now finally be able to get my own options plays out of the markets using fundamental analysis, right? That's how I did it. Then I had success in the market. I took on my first student, who was Mecca Marba. She had fabulous success that gave me the confidence that I could teach other people, built out, continued to expand the course, brought in other people, then jumped onto the YouTube. So y'all kind of know the story. That's where we're at today. Now, when I'm building this out, I had the opportunity to do exactly how I was taught. And most people, the way in which we're conditioned, we teach people how we was taught. You know, most people sell how they were sold. And one thing I consciously did was I said, I don't want an alert group, and I did not want to create a trading group to where everybody trades right what everybody else is trading. And I did that for a reason. I'm gonna kind of give you the reason why. And it don't mean I may not do it in the future, but as building the foundation of this up, I didn't want to do it that way. And I'm gonna kind of explain to you why. And I want to try to give you an understanding as to why a trading group, an alert group, may be a great place for you, or it may not be a great place for you based on your goals in the future. Because with every scenario, you got trade-offs, you got pros and cons, and you got to understand that. So first thing, from a marketing standpoint, right? Because I do come out of the marketing space. I was a media buyer for a very long time, email marketer, the whole 9 yards. There's a guy named, I think his name is Rich Sheffrin. He's a really good marketer, but he's not a big online guy. So a lot of people don't know him because most people think the biggest marketers are the people on YouTube. But like one thing about me, and I come from a whole different type of setup. I early on learned how to deal with the guys or the women sometimes that people don't see, but they really the people that's really calling the shots. But I come from a whole different type of setup. You feel me? And I'm gonna do a video one day on how these guys that are like rapping and their persona is that they hustlers and yada, yada, yada. And they so much of a hustler, they buy retail diamonds. Well, that's a contradiction of being a big time hustler like you say you are, because you would know if you're trying to get diamonds, you don't deal with a retailer, you deal with a wholesaler, right? But they know their audience don't know the difference between the two anyway. And the audience also don't know what a hustler look like. Because, you know, everybody's a hustler until we start talking about the actual quantity you dealing with. Then we talking about a whole different game. But you know, everybody that ever jumped out on the off the porch and was standing on the side of the street, they see themselves as this big time hustler. Then we start talking about quantity, then we start playing a different game. And so to me, because I know that the way this world really works is there's always a person that's a male or a female that's behind this stuff. And my question is, how can I deal with that person instead of dealing with the person that's on the front? So I never wanted to be the person on the stage, right? I wanted to be the guy in the cut. Now, being the guy in the cut draw more penalty, because the way this system is set up, if you can organize and structure stuff and the system don't like it, they come after you the hardest. But the real power is being able to make something happen and people don't even know where it came from. But that's how I've been brought up in this game. The real power is not having your face on everything. But if you believe that, then that's the game you go for. You feel me? So Rich Sheffrin is a marketer, and he's one of the guys that taught a lot of the marketers that you think are big marketers how to market. And then they went and taught a lot of these people that you see on YouTube and the internet now. They learned from the guy that learned from Rich Sheffrin. And Rich Sheffrin was a guy that was marketing back in the day with PDFs. No YouTube videos. He was marketing with PDFs because he know how to write. It was one of the reasons why I learned how to write, because a lot of the guys that could really market, they knew how to write. Why? Because the guys that can really market, some of the big movers on the internet space early on was really just direct response copywriters. And they moved to the internet. So they pen game was serious, which was one of the reasons why I learned how to write. And he marketed himself with PDFs, real badly done websites, but it was just a PDF game. And you read the PDF and the PDF was so persuasive, you decided to hire the guy. So a lot of the people that you think are the big time marketers, they learn from the really, really big time marketers who bought marketing consultation for Rich Sheffrin. And one of the things that he taught was, you don't want to ever create an offer that can be commodified. What do I mean by that? If you go into the grocery store, bread is a commodity. Even though they try to differentiate, it's a commodity, right? Go to the grocery store, eggs are a commodity. Cheese is a commodity. Milk is a commodity, right? You don't ever want to create an offer that can be commodified. Because if you ever create an offer that can be commodified, the customer will now start playing the price game. That's why we so many people on YouTube talking about saying, well, I can get this for free, because they see the offer as being a commodity. Now, there's different ways in which you make sure that your offer is not seen as a commodity. The easiest way you do it is you put a price on it. That way, anybody that don't want to pay the price, they just not going to pay it. But what they're not going to be able to do is pay the race to the bottom. See, as a business owner, you don't never want to race to the bottom. Why? Because as you race to the bottom, your revenues are going to start getting so low, you're never going to be able to justify the cost of doing business. So you don't ever want to race to the bottom. I don't ever want to play a game with somebody that I got the lowest price than you, because that only works for certain scenarios in which you can essentially create economies of scale, or you can run at a loss until you can take over the market. But I don't want to get into a marketing conversation. But Rich Sheffrin taught us that you don't ever want to have your offer turn into a commodity. And that's really what your customer wants to do. Your customer psychologically wants to turn your offer into a commodity. That's what they want to do psychologically, because it makes it easier for them to understand your offer. When I was looking at a lot of trading groups that came about around 2020, a lot of the alert groups that came around 2020, like right after the pandemic fall of the market, I looked at them, and because my understanding of marketing, what I said is that, you know what? In a year, this is going to be a commodity. Barrier to entry to set up a Discord is extremely easy. Everybody's doing this, and there's no real differentiation. So because there's no differentiation, what the customer eventually is going to do psychologically, because that's what they want to do psychologically, is they're going to turn this into a commodity. And then once they turn it into a commodity, then they're going to start talking about pricing. Don't you see that now? Well, you should get into a free group, or you shouldn't pay this price. See how that works? Nobody argues with Bugatti over the price. How come? Because Bugattis aren't perceived as commodities. Whatever little expensive bags that these women wear, right? because I don't play the game of trying to buy chicks expensive bags. Whatever bags they are, you understand it's all leather. Leather is leather. Dyed leather is dyed leather. However, because of marketing and being able to differentiate yourself through marketing, one woman will pay this amount for a bag. The other woman won't pay it. The other woman may only pay this amount for a bag, but it's all a leather bag. It's all dyed leather. It's coming from the same cow. But what these corporations and businesses have learned how to do is I'm not going to allow you to turn my product into a commodity. This is just good marketing. This is how it works. And when I saw a lot of the trading groups, I said, first off, from a marketing standpoint, this is going to get commodified. And it's going to be a race to the bottom. You already see now people talking about how this group is too high, or this group should be free, or I can get this information off the internet. They're doing what Richard Sheffrin told me 7 years they were going to do. He told me this 7 years ago. The customer is going to try to take your product or service and turn it into a commodity. That is a psychological flaw in your customer. So then therefore you got to know coming in, that's what they're going to do. And you got to figure out how to differentiate yourself in the marketplace. One easy way to differentiate yourself is price. We talked about before. Mercedes-Benz is selling you an engine with a drivetrain. Toyota is selling you an engine with a drivetrain. Why is there a difference in the prices of the two cars? Talk to me. You understand me? So that's the first reason why I didn't do it. Because I didn't want to spend my time building in a space that it was going to become more and more over time commodified. Didn't want to spend my time doing that. To me, that was a ocean. I don't know what's a blue ocean or a red ocean, but if you know really marketing, you understand that concept. I didn't want to spend my time building in that particular space, knowing that that's where this game was going to go when it was over with. And one thing, as a business owner and as a marketer, but also as a trader, you got to see where you think the trend is going, right? You got to see where you think the trend is going. Is the trend taking you somewhere that's going to be positive and negative for you? Okay, bam. So that's the first scenario why I didn't do it. Here's the second reason why I didn't do it. The goal was never to feed people plays. Why? I want you to understand something. The way I was raised and the way I was brought up, I always despised people that would try to put somebody in a bad situation that they themselves didn't want to be in. Or they try to put somebody in a situation and let that person take the fall and they took the benefit. I don't play them kind of games. I don't do that to people, and I don't respect that. That's not being reputable. And I was reputable before I ever came on the social media, and I'll be reputable when I leave. Now, if you don't have no respect for me and what I do, I can't change that. But in my mind, I came in with a certain values, principles, and morality and ethics that I'm going to adhere to. I came in that way. I'm going to leave with them same principles, right? Money, opportunity, it's not going to change that. That's not going to change. I didn't come in looking for that. I came in here to do something. I'm going to do what I got to do, and I'm going to bounce out, right? I don't respect putting somebody in a position that they can't handle, even if they say that's what they want. I don't care what you say you want. I know what I'm going to do and what I'm not going to do. Now, you can go find somebody else to do that, but I'm not going to do that, right? I'm not going to do that because I don't believe you can handle that. There's a woman that bought my VIP course. I ain't going to say her name because she don't comment on my social media, so obviously she don't want people to know who she is. But she bought my VIP course just off her knowing me on the internet. So there was a lot of trust that she had in me, right? I take that very serious. She got a fiance. She trying to get married, do her family thing. I don't do nothing but 100% support them, right? They, in my mind, y'all doing this the right way. Do what y'all got to do. Okay, so she is a novice trader. I'm not a novice trader. I wouldn't call myself an expert, but I'm not a novice, right? How am I helping her? By feeding her plays that she may not be able to handle because she's a novice. So why would I put her in a bad situation that maybe she can't manage? Right? The best thing to me for her is to teach her the fundamentals and let her develop herself over time. I continue to help her develop herself, then to put her in a bad situation, and then she gets scared out of the market. She gets, psychologically damaged because she can't handle the situation. So, you could be a very talented middle school basketball player. it don't mean that you're ready to go play NBA ball. You got to be brought up to these situations. This is why they tell people, we want you to play high school. We want you to play 3 years of college before you go to the NFL. Are there some exceptions to that rule? Yes, I think that dude that plays tight end for Georgia from California, I forgot that name, that big white dude, I think he could play NFL ball right now today, right? I think he really could, especially the way the game is now, because he don't have to worry about being hit as a defenseless receiver. However, the majority of college athletes on the D1 level, they freshman year of college, they couldn't make it in the NFL. They're not ready for it, right? They could be big, strong. They just not ready to play ball at that level, okay? And especially 20 years ago, they couldn't have made it through a camp because, Mike Allstott was talking about when he played for the Bucks. And he said it, and people that know football know what I'm talking about, because he said when he played for the Bucks with Tony Dungy, we talking about the late 90s, he said we never took the pads off. Like it was just a different game back then. So you had in college, they really wanted 3 years to work on you and to build you up to where we can push you into an NFL camp, and you just don't get so demolished in camp because you physically not tough enough to play in this camp. Because All-Star said in college they did 3 a days because they trying to build you up to the NFL. Then they changed a lot of things through the CBA to where, we can only hit so many days during camp. We only could whip up. But All-Star said when he played for the Bucks for Tony Dungy, who everybody talks about how nice of a guy he was, he said, Tony Dungy, you never took the pads off. You just never took it. Wasn't shells and shorts. And people that play football know what I mean. They weren't doing shells and shorts. The pads was on every day. Right? So you got to be brought up to that. I don't help this young woman by feeding her plays and she don't really understand what's going on. She don't know how this situation trades. She don't understand the volatility behind the situation. She may not necessarily understand some of the macroeconomic scenarios. I don't help her by inserting her in that situation. Then it go bad for her. And then she say, well, you know what? I can't be successful at this. And then she leave. And in her mind, the markets can't help me. The goal is not just to teach people how to trade options. The goal is to get our people to understand that by learning about the financial markets, it can help you get the life that you want, because you can leverage the financial markets to get the life that you want, because everything is a market. The real estate market, the crypto market, the bond market, the commodities market, the equities market, the options market, right? The relationship market. Everything is a market. It has principles to it. We're not even taught basic market principles. We're not. Average person in America don't even understand anything about microeconomics. They got a college degree. And therefore, a big piece of our education is missing that'll allow us to be more successful in the world. Because if we understood about markets, we wouldn't get mad that somebody priced something at $10,000 and another person priced it at $1. That shouldn't matter to you because you understand how markets function. How are you getting offended over pricing of a I don't know what that particular word is. It's like an elective service. It's not like you're at a hospital or you need some medicine for your sick child, or y'all ain't mad about how high these houses is out here. Y'all not mad about you bid on a house and somebody come in and they bid $50,000 over the ass. Y'all ain't making videos about that. It's because you don't understand how markets function. Therefore, I'm not helping this young woman by putting her in that position, because that's not what a reputable person would do, right? I don't believe this. See, I come from a little different type of scenario. I don't try to make somebody into who they not, right? I want you to be yourself, and I deal with you based on who you are. When I coach players, I know who my dogs was on my team. I know who the people was on my team that if everybody was moving in one direction, that's the direction that they're going to go in. I know who the players on my team is that if I say right, they're going to say left. I knew that because I knew my team. I don't try to make somebody into who they not. You ain't never going to be able to pull that off. Therefore, you got to understand is that I want you to be who you is. I'll deal with you on that level and we'll try to get the success for you. Because I don't want you to feel like I got to try to be somebody that I'm not to try to, make this situation work, because at the end of the day, all you're going to be is yourself. And what many people is going to try to make you do is be somebody that you're not, right? And that's not going to work for you long term, because why? That's not who you are. I'm not going to put you in a situation in which I don't think you prepared for. Why? Because you're not going to be successful. That don't make me a reputable person just because I make money at the end of the day. So I can feed you plays, but the way I look at plays, I still primarily, I'm 70, probably 30 fundamental analysis. If you don't understand the fundamental story behind the play, you may not even understand what's going on. Then if you make money off the play, you don't know why you made money. And if you lose money on the play, you don't know why you lost money. Why? Because you didn't understand why you was in the play in the first place. I don't trade plays just on what the RSI is this. I don't trade like that. I have a fundamental story about why I'm trading 95% of the time. And if you don't have time to understand the fundamental story, if you make money in the play, you won't know why. If you lose money in the play, you won't know why. How am I empowering you by putting you in that situation? The goal is for you to take what I'm teaching you and to be able to build off of it for your group. That's the goal. The goal is for to take what I'm teaching you and you get with your group and you build off of it. And then we got groups of our people all over this country, but also all over the world that know how to utilize the financial markets. If you looked at how the United States handled the situation between Russia and Ukraine, it's just seeming into your head that we are in a market-based society. It's just the way they handled that. It's just seeming into your head that we are in a market-based society, and we produce millions of people out of the American education system that don't understand how markets work, have no idea. I'm not helping you by just feeding you something, and you don't know why it's going the way it's going. We got enough people that drive cars and don't know how cars work. We got enough people that use computers and can't even tell you the basis of a computer. We don't need more of that. And knowing how a car works and knowing how a computer works is not as important to your life as understanding how markets function. Therefore, when we want to create solutions in our communities, we know why we don't have grocery stores in certain parts of the city. We know why we don't have healthcare facilities in certain parts of the city. And you don't have to sit up here and let these people lie to you and insult you about why you don't have it, because you understand from a market-based perspective why these particular situations aren't there, and then you can find a solution to it that's market-based. But nobody's teaching you this. So that's my differentiation. None of these people are not going to copy me on that. Why? Because it's too difficult to do. They don't want to copy me. They want to keep doing what they're doing. So I don't have to worry about somebody taking my position in the marketplace. So that's my differentiation. And that's also why I don't feed people plays. Am I against it? No. That's what you want to do. Do what you do. Right? If you want to buy and join a trading group, I'm not against it. I know some people that can really teach you, right, how to trade a certain way. They got trading groups. I'm not against. Some of the most reputable people in this game I know got trading groups. I'm not down in it, because I understand how markets function. Different people got different desires in the market, right? And it also don't mean that you can't join their group and also join my group. But what I wanted to do was not just teach people how to trade options, but teach people how to use the markets to get what they want. And the options market creates a very low barrier to entry. It's totally different than trading futures. It's totally different than trading equities. They used to tell people back in the day to trade equities, you need 20,000 in your account. So they locked out of that space. Because for years, if you was going to try to trade equities, they would tell you had to have 20K sitting in your account to trade it. So we locked out of so many spaces because we don't have the upfront capital. But the options market allows us to go into these spaces at a very low barrier to entry, very low capital requirement, and then you got a massive amount of leverage on the plays, right? That's how I'm going to get you in. Then when I get you in and I can keep dealing with you and keep lacing you with this game, and you get some seasoning in this game, you'll come out on the other side and you'll see the world totally different. And then you see how I can navigate this and solve problems in my area. We haven't been taught how to be problem solvers. We just taught how to be problem complainers. We don't have no solutions. Oh, we just argue over who got the right solution. I don't argue over nobody over whether they should do. I'm not arguing. I'm doing it. I'm getting to it. That's what I'm doing. You understand me? That's my differentiation. So everybody that is attracted to me, they already fit a certain profile because they know David ain't going to do that and David going to do that. So if I want this, I don't even deal with David on that level because he's not going to do that. Right? It's not a positive or negative. They just know I'm not going to do that. Just like in real life, people knew not to come to me with certain stuff. Why? Because, dog, I don't do that. So don't even come at me with that. because I don't do that. And you know I don't do that. And one thing people knew about me was a consistency. I'm not perfect. I'll be late a lot. I be, you know, sometimes I be here. Sometimes you don't hear from my ass for like, you know, a certain amount of time. I be doing, that's just me. But if you really need me, I'm gonna show up. You gotta worry about that. I'm gonna come through, and I'm gonna come through correct too, right? And my name ain't never been in a whole bunch of foolishness. One, because I don't mess with a lot of people. That's why I ain't never had that issue. That's how I keep my name out of a lot of stuff. So you know what I'm standing on. You know what I'm about. And that's what I want people to understand. Am I against somebody feeding you plays? No. Am I against somebody feeding you plays and they charging you $10,000 a month? Nope. Am I against somebody feeding you plays and they charging you $1 a month? Nope. Don't care either way. If that's what you want, there is a need in the marketplace for that particular type of service or that particular type of opportunity. Somebody's providing it at a price point that makes sense for them to provide the services. When I was doing my weekly options, it took me hours to come up with that list of 4 or 5 plays every Sunday. I was giving that out for free. But what I didn't like was if the play went the wrong way, the person that played it got hurt, and they oftentimes didn't know why they got hurt in the play. I didn't like that because that's not what I was trying to do. I was just doing it because it was fun. But I stopped doing that. And a lot of people really enjoyed that content. I just don't do it anymore. I like more, to me, what was more fun was doing the graphic for it. That was more fun than looking up the play. The play was nothing to me. Because I'm looking at these markets so much and I'm getting so much information from different people. I know about stuff I don't never talk about. I be knowing about plays I don't even talk about. Why? Because I know that play not for everybody. You know, I play a lot of stuff that can be very volatile. These Chinese plays, you got to know what's going on with the government to understand what's going on. I don't want to put somebody in a position where they get caught up messing with me because I know how to move in these spaces. You may not be experienced enough or had the right time of psychology. Some of y'all need to trade forward, man, and sit your ass down. That's what you built to do. And it's not a negative. So let me explain something to you, man. For all my young people, but some of my older people need to listen to, but for all my young people, listen to me. When you building out a crew, right? When you building out a crew and you building out a team, everybody supposed to be a piece of a puzzle. You don't want everybody to do the same thing. And ain't nobody more important than the other person because of what they do. I don't like how we credit these systems to, well, you know, when I came up playing basketball, there was a lot of emphasis on who scored the most points. That don't make you the best player, though. I played in a game one time in a tournament, and I was really leading my team to the win. I was rallying my team to the win. And when I got done playing, we won. I had a coach on the other team. He said, man, I ain't never really seen somebody that could lead a team and not be the leading scorer of the team. Right? Because I never bought into, because I'm not the biggest scorer on the team, it don't mean I can't be a leader on my team. But I came up in an era where it was all about how many points you was going to score. That's what made you the guy, just because you scored a lot of points. And I never bought into that because I never believed that if we're going to put a crew together, just because you really good at this one thing, it make you better than everybody else. You just really good at that one thing, but everybody play a role and everybody got a position in this. And you see that mess up a lot of crews and mess up a lot of situations to where we start ranking people by this stuff. And the problem is, if the people that you saying don't have the rank, if they stop doing what they doing, the whole situation fall apart. If I'm an elite rebounder on a team and y'all telling me, well, I'm a nobody because I don't score points, I say, cool, I'm gonna just start rebounding then. And I'm gonna try to be a bigger scorer. And I'm watching the ball come off the rim and I ain't going to go get it. It mess up the whole team. So we can't have that. And that's what I want people to understand, is that your game and what you're doing may be, I'm gonna just trade forward. Your game may be, I'm gonna just trade an index. That may be where you fit into this, right? Because everybody can't trade Tesla. A lot of people lost their ass in 2020 trading Tesla. A lot of people made a lot of money too. But a lot of people try to run over there and trade Tesla because that's what everybody was doing, and they got their ass chopped up. Because Tesla wasn't nothing to play with in 2020. That thing was like a wave and pipeline in Hawaii. If you know about that, big waves, big waves. That wave will kill you too. That wave will knock you off that surfboard and you'll hit that coral reef under that pipeline and you'll get cut in half, or you'll get drowned under all that water, right? People that really swam in the beach don't understand, man, the power of God is in that ocean. That ocean will make you disappear and nobody ever see you again. You understand me? A lot of people got killed trying to trade these meme stocks. I spoke to people. They was trading meme stocks. It was up $13,000. You know what turned around and happened? They lost all their money playing with the meme stocks. They didn't really know what they was doing. So therefore, they didn't know I'm up 13,000. Man, let me just exit totally out of this market and keep my 13,000. They trying to keep it going and don't really understand how meme stocks trade. That's not for you unless you're going to specialize in trading meme plays. So me feeding people meme plays may not be a good scenario for them. Why? Because they don't really know what they're doing. They're going to get chopped up, and half these things is pump and dump schemes. I don't care if it take 2 years of pump and dump. A lot of pump and dumps take time. Every pump and dump ain't going to be a 90-day situation. A lot of them Chinese companies I was trading in 2021 was pump and dumps. Them things been going on for years. You see now they $1 and $2. You feel me? That's what I want you to understand. The goal in 2021 is for me to build out an automated marketing funnel. That's what I'm working on currently while I'm making this video. That's why I've been kind of MIA from situations. I'm trying to build out an automated marketing funnel to drive people into the particular, into my space using automation. The overall goal, to give you some insight on what I'm trying to do with my business, is to get people out of my business. I don't mean customers. I mean, I want a business just pretty much run by computers. I don't even want people in my business, because I realize as I study more and more business and I study more and more systems, that the biggest flaw in all of this is human beings, right? That's the flaw. It don't matter about the system. The flaw is the human. So the goal is just to get the human out of the equation, because I don't want to deal with that. I'd rather deal with a computer code. And I'm not a technocrat by any stretch of the imagination. It's just that's what a choke point is the human. Because people have bad days, they have good days. It'd be days where I say, you know what, I need to wake up at 7 o'clock and I oversleep and wake up at 7:30. I can program a computer to be on at 7 o'clock and I ain't got to worry about the computer oversleeping and being up at 7:30. I ain't got to worry about none of that. So the goal is really to automate a lot of this and to just manage the automation. That's what I'm working on. And then I can turn around and spend more time on building out the community, because I freed my time up via the automations and via the systems. I just got to build the systems the right way. That's what I'm doing right now. Right? But I want you to understand something. A trading group may be the best place for you, because it can allow you to make money out of the market. Right? But it also can be the worst place for you, because you may not really understand what's going on. And unless you want to take the responsibility and take the time to get an understanding of what's going on, right? When the person that's running the trading group decides they don't want to do it anymore, then you're looking for the next trading group. That's why people jump from trading group to trading, because really what they're looking for is, how can I make the most amount of money, sometimes with the least amount of investment on myself. I want to pay this person $40 a month, and I want this person to help me make thousands of dollars a month. The life ain't supposed to work like that. You're supposed to be willing to pay 10 grand for somebody to show you how to make $2,000 a month. Why? Because then you keep making $2,000 a month until it exceeds the 10 grand. So if you pay 10 grand for somebody to show you how to make 2 grand a month, you multiply 2 times whatever number till you get 10. That's your break even. Everything past that is your profit. On the education, still got to keep putting money into it. But because so many people don't really have a business mentality, they think, I'm going to pay $40 and this person gonna show me how to make thousands. And that's not how life works. Life don't work that way. But when you live in a life in which you want it to work that way, then people realize, well, it's a big marketplace of people out there, and I can charge them $40, $50 and spoon feed their ass, and they never gonna take it on themselves to really learn what I'm telling them. So I'm always gonna have a marketplace of people to do like that. And I'm not against it. Why? Because that's what them people want. I'm not mad at that, man. I'm not mad at them, because that's what people want. They don't want to take on the time to themselves to learn it. And if you don't want to take the time to learn it on your own, there's people out there that'll give you plays and you pay them a certain amount of money. Play might work, might not work. It is what it is. It's just something that you got to deal with, because you don't want to take responsibility on yourself. You feel me? That's all I want to talk about. I don't want to ramble. I feel like I reiterated the point 4 or 5 times in a row already. But that is, to me, the untold truth about trading in signal groups, right? Options alert groups, options trading groups, equity trading groups, cryptocurrency trading groups. It's all the same business model, right? just with a little bit of differentiation about what particular service that they're giving out. David W. Williams, also known as Diamond Dave. Talk to you later.